hello there, fellow Eurovision fans, and welcome to a very special night's viewing. I am very excited to be taking you back in time, 50 years, no less, to 1974, and an event absolutely, you're welcome, loaded with musical significance. Picture, if you will, the month was April, the setting, the Brighton Dome, and the reason for celebrating this particular Eurovision Song Contest? Well, it was 4 reasons, really, called Benny, Bjorn, Agnetha and Anni-Frid. This was the first time we really saw them in all their glory, when they won the competition with Waterloo. The rest were defeated, and we promised to love them forevermore.
Waterloo, couldn't escape if I wanted to. Waterloo, knowing my fate is to be with you. Waterloo, finally facing my Waterloo.
So, we're now going to relive that event because we're settling down to enjoy the entire 1974 Eurovision Song Contest exactly as the viewers sitting at home did. All of it, 17 songs, a full orchestra, the tension of the scoring, absolutely everything. But first, some history. And what sort of state will we find the UK in? Well, at the top of the charts was Seasons in the Sun by Terry Jacks.
We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the wine and the song, like the seasons, have all gone.
In 1974, we had been a member of the European Community for just over a year, and Labour's Harold Wilson was the Prime Minister. At the cinema, the biggest movie star of the moment was a car called Herbie. As for the contest itself, 1974 was the 5th time the United Kingdom had hosted the competition. We'd actually stepped in to save the day. It should have been Luxembourg hosting, but they pulled out in 1974, saying it was too expensive. They'd hosted in 73, so it fell to the United Kingdom to take up the Eurovision challenge. The UK became everyone's hero, and we were feeling pretty confident too. Singing for us was none other than the magnificent Miss Olivia Newton John.
Long, long live love, as long as we live, living, forgiving.
Now, she was friends with a little-known singer called Cliff Richard. And I bet you didn't know she wasn't actually Australian. Did you know that? She was born in Cambridge. Other familiar names included our commentator for the night, a man better known for presenting major sports events, the legendary David Vine. And holding the show together was one of the biggest names in television at the time, Katie Boyle, a true Eurovision icon.
Something like 500 million people are watching at this very moment, as well as the many million who are listening to their radios all over Europe. Well, this really is a fantastic thought, but I would still like to extend to each and every one of you a very warm welcome to Brighton.
This would be Katie's 4th time hosting the contest since 1960, and she spoke several languages just beautifully, which made her perfect for the role. And she was holding it together all by herself. And let me tell you, having shared hosting responsibilities last year, Katie Boyle going solo leaves me in awe.
Right, 26 countries are competing in tonight's grand final, and you can help decide who wins.
You have up to 20 votes, and who can't you vote for? Your own country, because that would be madness.
I remember particularly when we had the final scoring to do at the end of the night. All we had to look at on the auto cue, because it was in an arena and we didn't want anyone to see, all it said was XXX has XXX points and XXX has XXX points. That's helpful, isn't it? Imagine if we'd gone wrong and told someone that they'd won the whole competition and they hadn't.
The final ranking of the Eurovision Song Contest 2023 is about to be announced.
One act, one country, will be celebrating tonight and making it into the Eurovision history books.
Now, of course, there's going to be one rather important difference between the experience we're about to share and the one that the people had back in the spring of '74. And that is, we already know who the winners are, don't we? So, to help us navigate our way around that undeniable fact, I've singled out a few things that are worth looking out for to enhance your viewing experience. So, in no particular order. There were a few nations besides Sweden and the UK who people were actually getting very excited about. First, Luxembourg again.
Tous les rêves sont permis. Pourtant ce soir je te quitte.
Not only did we step in as hosts when they dropped out, we also provided them with their singer, Irene Shear. Born in Romford, grew up in Billericay, but ended up becoming a pop star in Germany and Luxembourg. I know, and she represented them both at Eurovision over her career. Another hot tip, the commentator David Vine's favourite song of the night was from Italy, Ziliona Cinquetti.
Dolcemente dissi sì, per provare un'emozione che non ho avuto mai. E quando nel suo viso tutto il cielo si scoprì.
And she knew what she was doing because she was a former Eurovision winner coming out on top 10 years earlier in 1964, and now she was back going for a double. Also hugely experienced in international success were the entrants from the Netherlands. Now, our very own Sandy Shaw won in 1967 with Puppet on a String, but this year, going Dutch meant no strings attached.
It's like that twinkling in your eyes. I see a face, a happy face. It's like the mirror of my mind.
The act was called Mouth and McNeil. I'm being serious. And they had a top 10 hit in America a few years earlier with a song called How Do You Do? So how did they do on the night? Well, I can tell you that the song they performed in Brighton did end up being a top 10 hit here. But I'm saying no more. Of course, with every Eurovision Song Contest, there's always the fashion element to enjoy. So, no surprise that there's plenty to savour here too. Not least Ireland's Tina Reynolds dressing appropriately for her song Cross Your Heart. And then there's the halftime entertainment. Now this was a biggie. The most successful singles band in the UK in 1974, no less. Not Wings, not Queen or Slade, not the Carpenters, not Elton John or David Bowie, not even the Bay City Rollers. Because bigger than all of them in the UK charts that year were this lot. The Wombles.
Remember you're a Womble. 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 Remember what a Womble you are.
Now, the Wombles didn't enjoy quite the same level of popularity everywhere, so viewers across the world possibly found them, shall we say, a little unexpected. And that leads me to the scoring, which was, at times, a real tale of the unexpected. I especially want you to watch out for just how many points ABBA received from us. And if you're doing your own scoring at home tonight, how about asking yourself some of these questions? How tight a race was it? Were ABBA definitely the worthy winners? Or perhaps, were there some other credible contenders who, but for a handful of votes, could have actually taken the crown and changed the course of pop history as we know it? Right, it's time to get those scoring cards ready and dive in. So settle back, go and get your snacks, and prepare to enjoy yourselves.